All right, we're live. Loveland, Colorado Police Department. The Thin Blue Line gang got stung. The hammer dropped today, but is it really the hammer of justice? When they still enjoy some measure of qualified immunity, they'll still get light sentencing. They'll still get out early for good behavior. When they go behind bars, I'm not so sure that they're not receiving preferential treatment that none of the rest of us get. But, you know, at least this is something, right? Looks like we're going to have to accept table scraps since Philip Brailsford is still at large. You know, you remember who Philip Brailsford is, don't you? 33 people in here, 28 likes. Thank you very much. If you enjoy this content, don't forget to hit the like button. It helps with the YouTube algorithms. Thanks for joining, guys. Backschmills here. Check out Backschmill. Drop your link on your Instagram account there, Backschmill. You got a lot of interesting footage coming out of New York City. Backschmill's still in the process of trying to escape New York City, by the way. But yeah, this is going to be a dedicated video dedicated to former officer Austin Hopp and former officer Daria Jalali. Hopp is going to prison. Good. But this is just a symptom, guys. This is just the symptom of the major evil that's boiling on around or boiling under the Thin Blue Line uniforms and shiny badges. And even fake stream media is forced to confront this because YouTubers will not let this stuff rest. When they see not just major brutality going on in the law enforcement ranks, but we're talking about absolute torture on the elderly, no less. And if this happens, if they're going to do this to the elderly in broad daylight, on a roadside, on camera, body cam, dash cam, before the entire world, what are they doing when the dash cams and the body cams they think aren't rolling? This is what concerns me, and this is what concerns everybody. But, you know, I guess this is a moderate victory. Former Loveland cop sentenced to 5 years in assault of Karen Garner, 75-year-old, fragile, dementia-minded Karen Garner, no less. We're going to watch some of these, and I'm going to interact with you on the chat room, but it's very, very important that you share this video because, like I said, you know, I took a management class one time, and one of the things that they brought up at the beginning, in the middle, and at the end of that meeting was, for every customer who doesn't complain, there are 27 others who are dissatisfied with your product or service that didn't complain. So for every customer that complains, 27 didn't. For every case we see like this coming out of law enforcement, how many do we not know about? That's what I'm concerned about. How many of them are not on dash cam and body cam video? How many of the dash cam and body cam videos will they not release to the public for years and years later? And then when you finally get them, those body cam and dash cam videos are redacted to make it not look as bad as it actually was. So we're going to listen to two broadcasts right here, but the long and the short of it is Austin Hopp. And by the way, there is a third guy involved in this who did arrive on the scene when Karen Garner was being brutalized by this strong man who snapped her arm behind her back. We're not going to watch any of that YouTube. I'm not going to put any of that in there. No reason to age restrict. I'm not going to show any graphic content, only with the mainstream news shows. But there are three people, not just Austin Hopp, not just Daria Jalali, but Sergeant Metzler. Thank you, Zilamesh, for letting me know who that was and enabling me to actually bring up an article about what actually happened to Phil Metzler. Sergeant Phil Metzler is the guy who arrived on the scene after Karen Garner was brutalized by Austin Hopp and Daria Jalali, and said to one of the two, I think it was to Jalali, "Hey, is that blood on you?" Yeah, don't worry, it's not mine, it's hers. At which point, Sergeant Phil Metzler from the Loveland, Colorado Police Department should have said, "What do you mean? Blood came out of a 73-year-old woman for a simple arrest and it's on you? I need to check this girl. Is she okay? Is this woman all right?" No concern. Blank face, cemented in cognitive dissonance, completely immersed in their psychopathy, because that's what it is. What do you call it? How would you like on your record, "Hey, what are you in for, Brian?" "Oh, I brutally assaulted a 73-year-old helpless dementia-ridden woman." You deserve whatever you're going to get in prison, buddy. Larimer County district judge sentenced a former Loveland police officer to 5 years in prison for an assault. That's putting it lightly. involving an elderly woman with dementia. Austin Hopp pleaded guilty to an assault charge in March related to the June 2020. And can you believe it's been that long? It's been almost 2 years, and they're just now getting around to throwing this guy into a cage. If it was you and me, we would have been in a cage way longer, ever since that time, and we would have got a heavier sentence than this guy's getting, and you ain't going to get out early for good behavior. He was initially charged with 3 counts. Reminds me of Amber Geiger. It just pisses you off that this person, this Amber Geiger, Officer Amber Geiger, could go into somebody else's house, blow him away on his couch, and only get 10 years, and she's going to be out this year. Oh, she'll be on parole, don't worry. No, she'll get her freedom, and she'll probably get a nice, shiny badge and a uniform from some other department in some other state. That's just how we've seen it work. Because when you're part of the Thin Blue Line gang, it's a club. It's a big club, and you ain't in it. Karen Garner's not in it. He was initially charged with 3 counts, including assault, but pleaded guilty to a single charge of second-degree assault, a Class 4 felony, on March 2nd. Let's just watch this real quick, and then we're going to watch the CBS version of this.
A former Loveland police officer who assaulted 73-year-old Karen Garner 2 years ago will spend time in prison. A judge sentenced Austin Hopp in a courtroom filled with Garner's family and friends today. 9 News crime and justice reporter Matt Jablow was there, and Matt, Hopp's family asked the judge to impose the maximum sentence.
Kim Garner's family did indeed ask for the maximum sentence, which would have been 8 years. They did not get that, but they came close.
You just left Walmart. Do you need to be arrested right now?
The disturbing story began on June 26, 2020.
Do you need to stop being a tyrant right now? Officer Hopp?
That's when Loveland police officer Austin Hopp stopped 73-year-old Karen Garner as she was heading home from a nearby Walmart. Garner, who suffers from dementia, forgot to pay for about $14 worth of items.
Just look at the pictures here. I mean, if you're a full-grown adult male and you encounter a fragile 73-year-old, what does she weigh? 85, 90 pounds max, soaking wet? And you encounter this, do you go, oh man, we're going hands-on here. This is great. And then proceed to handle her as you would any, run-of-the-mill street thug? Amazing that his mind would even go there. And then more amazing still is that he would allow his mind to allow his body to go there and go through the motions of snapping her arm behind her neck, putting the torture cuffs on, throwing her in a cage for 6 hours as she suffers, as they're outside the door making fun of her. Oh, yeah, when I heard that pop, oh, man. Oh, and they're just laughing about it. Jalali's covering her ears like she has some kind of conscience or something. She doesn't.
Less than 30 seconds after he stopped her, Hopp twisted Garner's arm behind her back and took her to the ground, breaking and dislocating her arm in the process.
I'm sorry to keep stopping this, but people are making some really good comments. Strata says, but you can steal $995 worth of goods in California and nothing will happen to you. Exactly. Karen Garner absent-mindedly walks out with less than $14 worth of stuff. Broken arm, dislocated shoulder. You wait till you see the bruises on this woman. Look at this. I was like, all right, let's wrestle, girl. Let's wreck it. Can you even imagine saying that about somebody probably 10 times weaker than you are?
I was like, all right, let's wrestle, girl. Let's wreck it.
He was then seen and heard on surveillance video at the police station, bragging and laughing about the arrest. In court on Thursday, Hopp said he accepted full responsibility for his, quote, horrible actions that day. He said he was truly sorry for what he did and for the pain and suffering he caused Garner.
No, he's not. You know what he's sorry about? He's sorry that he got caught. He's sorry that his body cam was on. He's sorry that the government said, hey, you got to keep your dash cam on. He's sorry Jalali showed up with her body cam on. In short, they're not really sorry about their actions. They're sorry that their actions became exposed to the general public and that they got in trouble. He's sorry he's going to prison. Dang. How many crimes did this guy commit before Karen Garner?
And her family. During her remarks, Judge Carol Michelle Breiniger said Hopp showed an alarming degree of criminal thinking that day, calling his action.
Good job. An alarming degree of criminal thinking. Isn't that what we saw from Philip Brailsford as he gunned down in cold blood the guy, Daniel Shaver, who's doing his best to follow these rapid fire commands from 5 law enforcers in the hallway of that La Quinta Inn in Mesa, Arizona, all body armored up, armed out, firearms, long rifles pointed at short sleeve shirt and shorted Daniel Shaver, who's partially inebriated, trying to obey the rap. I'm sorry, slips, tries to adjust the waistband on his shirts and shorts, boom, 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 boom. And yet Philip Brailsford gets acquitted of cold-blooded murder in broad daylight, in a hallway, lights on camera. That's called qualified immunity, folks. You don't have it, but they do. So yeah, I would say that's an accurate assessment, but that is not just relegated to former officer Austin Hopp and former officer Daria Jalali. Listen to this again.
Suffering he caused Garner and her family. During her remarks, Judge Carol Michelle Breiniger said Hopp showed an alarming degree of criminal thinking that day, calling his actions deliberate and deceitful.
An alarming degree of criminal activity, deceitful actions coming from the mouth of a judge who is also deceitful, who's also criminally minded, who's also a psychopath, who also will throw the book at you if you disobey the state laws, if you disobey the edicts of politicians, if you break their commands, if you don't comply. So a psychopath is calling another psychopath a psychopath. Lovely world we live in.
She then sentenced him to 5 years in prison and 3 years of parole. Afterwards, Garner's 3 children said it was a good day for their entire family.
It's taken stress and toll on us as a family, over these last few years. But today is starting to bring some closure to us.
I'm confident that this sends the message to the community that excessive use of force will not be tolerated, that treating members of our community inhumanely will not be tolerated, that lacking to get folks medical attention will not be tolerated, and that celebrating such behavior will not be tolerated.
You know what sucks about this? I think there was a $3 million settlement on this. Well, did the $3 million come out of the individual pockets of the law enforcers, or was the $3 million extracted from the Loveland, Colorado tax cattle to cover for the indiscretions, the irresponsibility, and the tyranny of Officer Hopp and Jalali and Metzler? I'm not letting Metzler off the hook here. Not letting him off the hook. Can you imagine if Austin Hopp has a wife and kids when he goes home at night? Daddy, what'd you do? What'd you do today? Oh man, sit down, guys. I got this great story. There was this lady, see, and she came out of Walmart because we got this call that she stole a bunch of stuff. Turned out it was less than $14. But hey, that doesn't matter. We're going to execute a little bit of roadside justice here. Anyway, come to find out, she's 73, weighs about 80 pounds soaking wet. I threw her to the ground, snapped her arm, and the kids are going, if he has kids, that's the story he's going to tell them. Not, hey, you know what? I unearthed a whole bunch of corruption in our police department, and I may be about to go down, so we need to take you guys to a safe house. No, he's not going to do that. I investigated and exposed this whole crime ring I got going on under my nose in my department. It's the common officers, it's the sergeants, it's the lieutenants. It goes all the way up to the captain, man. And I'm about to expose what's going on in the Loveland, Colorado Police Department. No, instead, he participates in the corruption, and he's a member of that Thin Blue Line gang who's actually involved in facilitating all that criminal activity on the streets of Loveland, Colorado, or at least he was.
Garner's children said they visited Karen this morning at the memory care facility where she's now living. They said because of her condition, she had absolutely no idea about today's court proceedings. Kim?
Sad. Okay, so here's how CBS Morning News put it. And guys, I'm thankful. Don't forget, when we're watching CBS, ABC, Fox News, the Communist News Network, we're watching distract, deceive, divide. Sometimes they get it right. Sometimes they get their facts in order. But for the most part, fake stream CIA infiltrated Operation Mockingbird, MK Ultra Media is involved in a distract, deceive, divide, dehumanize, demoralize, and conquer campaign.
former police officers in Loveland, Colorado were charged with crimes yesterday for the violent arrest of a 73-year-old woman with dementia. This is a case we've reported on for weeks. Body camera video shows Officer Austin Hop tackling Karen Garner last June. He's accused of felony assault and other charges. His former partner is charged with failure to report use.
Finally, felony assault. That's exactly what this is. And that's exactly what you would be charged with. You would be charged with felony assault, especially, I mean, don't you love it when these videos come out they're dispensed to the general public and it clearly shows on video the cop actually committing a crime, and they still manage to put allegedly in the sentence when they title their articles?
Of force. Garner was left with a broken arm and dislocated shoulder. In an exclusive interview, her daughter told our lead national correspondent David Begnaud the charges are not enough. David, good morning.
Anthony, good morning. Karen Garner's family is thrilled that the officers involved will be prosecuted, but this decision took nearly a year to come down. The family believes that the Garner case was really swept under the rug. But
spoiler alert, wait till you hear the police chief lie. Stick around. He lies with such a straight face.
The entire police department, and they believe that more people need to be held accountable for what happened to Karen.
I mean, they're being charged for something. It's just not enough.
Elisa Swartz says her mother, Karen Garner, will never be the same after her encounter with Loveland police officers last summer.
Do you need to be arrested right now? No. Okay. Let's stop. Come on.
I'm going home.
This was June 26th.
Less than 7 seconds, the 73-year-old is on the ground because this is a big, bad guy. Let's see him try to do that to somebody like Chili from Delete Laws. Let's see him try to take, San Joaquin Valley transparency down like that.
2020. Then Officer Austin Hop tackled Karen Garner, a 73-year-old, 80-pound woman with dementia, to the ground, cuffing her and refusing to let her go home. She had been accused of stealing $13.88 worth of items from the nearby Walmart. Store security caught her, and she returned the items. But Walmart called the police, and officers pursued her.
We don't play this game. And if you try to kick me, this is going to be bad.
Officer Daria Jalali was on the scene and came around to assist Officer Hop while they restrained Garner.
Now, think about it. Jalali is a female, okay? You and I can define women. There's a certain Supreme Court justice that shall remain nameless who can't because she's not a biologist. Now, us non-biologists can identify a woman. So Jalali comes on the scene, and typically women are more compassionate. They're more empathetic. They're more soft. They can approach a situation in a different way than a man does. Not Jalali. Jalali's in on it too. She doesn't have the common sense, the common decency, or the moral fortitude to go, hey, Hop, what are you doing? Why is she bleeding? Why is her arm dislocated? Why did you throw her to the ground? Are you freaking crazy? I want no part of this. This is not what I signed up for, but Jalali doesn't do that. She does the exact opposite and helps Hop as he's involved in a broad daylight crime. It's this, guys, it is so disgusting and so disturbing that not only is this Jalali and Hop doing this, and then Metzler is basically going to give his sergeantly blessing, Loveland County sergeant blessing on this thing. Oh yeah, you guys are fine. Oh, blood from a 73-year-old, 80-pound woman had no problem. Not only is this relegated to those three psychopaths, this unearths the fact that there could be a whole bunch of other psychopaths underneath the tyrannical cover that people have not taken into consideration. That's what's really alarming about this. This is just one small little dot. This is a tiny dot of tyranny being unveiled.
Garner's shoulder was dislocated and her arm broken.
Look at this.
Austin Hop.
Can you imagine this being your mother or grandmother?
Was dislocated.
Look at that. Who does that? This is ridiculous. It's disgusting. It's immoral. Dare I say evil. This is the kind of stuff that cannot be tolerated. I don't care if you wear a funny costume, a funny blue and black costume with a shiny badge. I don't care what authority you say you come with. I don't care if you say you're a judge or a politician or a law enforcer or a governor. You're a human being, and no human being should be doing this to another human being. What's wrong with you people? And then other human beings look at this and kind of minimize it because there is a costume involved, there is a badge, there is state agency involved, and they're just completely blind in their own cognitive dissonance. This should make us so outraged we're just foaming at the mouth or something. But no, not the general public, not Boobus Americanus, not turn on the TV and have Brian Stelter do the thinking for me.
And her arm broken.
Austin Hop used excessive force in the arrest of Miss Gardner, and that resulted in serious bodily injury. Daria Jalali, having witnessed that excessive force, failed to live up to her duties
under
the law and as a sworn peace officer.
District Attorney Gordon McLaughlin announced yesterday that he was charging both officers.
Here's the second insult to injury. Not only did they do what they shouldn't have done to Karen Gardner, then they added insult to injury. It's almost like McCormick seasoning dropped by a whole truckload of salt because they're going to add insult to injury here. I know, insult. But the point is, not only did they abuse her, they left her in a cage for 6 hours while they're outside at this desk right here making fun of the brutality they just inflicted on Karen Gardner.
I understand that, but you keep fighting us.
There is video from the jail showing Garner telling the officer she's in pain. She says it more than 30 times. She was denied medical care for more than 6 hours.
Torture has been exposed here.
Family attorney Sarah Shelke says that 3 more officers should also be charged.
Look at him fist bumping. Hey, good job. Took that lady down and out. I heard the pop. Oh, you should have heard the pop. Yeah, good job. Who's this guy right here? Maybe that's Hop and Jalali right there. I know that's Jalali. There's another guy behind the desk giving props and high fives too. He should be fired at the very least.
Charged, including at least one who was captured watching footage of Garner's.
Yeah, this guy right here. Who's this guy? Who's this psychopath? Who's going to applaud this? You know, think about you and me walking by this law enforcement desk right here and listening to what they're watching. It's like, what are you guys watching? And then looking at it and going, are you guys insane? What is wrong with you? Where's your heart? Is there no humanity in this department? Literally monstrous.
Rest with officers Hop and Jalali.
It went up the chain of command along with the videos that various levels of chain of command watched, and nobody did anything.
Yep.
There will be people who are like, aren't you being a little picky and asking for a little too much?
My response to that is simple. This all happened nearly a year ago, and all of this has only occurred because we filed a lawsuit.
Look at that,
and
man.
we released the videos. All of this speaks.
Did you hear what she said? By the way, I don't trust the I don't trust attorneys either, but listen to what she says right here. And to some degree, I believe this. The only reason they did anything is because we made the video go public. The video ended up going viral. And because that viral video, went so hyper viral, people were calling into the Loveland Police Department demanding that these officers either resign or get fired and at the very least get jailed. If not, hey, let's bring back the, I don't know. I don't think I can say that. I can't say that on a live stream. Bring back the, from back in the 1700s. I'm not going to say it.
It's simple. This all happened nearly a year ago, and all of this has only occurred because we filed a lawsuit and we released the videos.
Yep.
All of this speaks to...
So it wasn't the cops revealing the videos. It wasn't the cops making the video public in the interest of transparency that they always talk about that they're for. It was the legal team for Karen Gardner. And you know why they did it? Because they're going to get a pretty good deal of money out of this. Can you imagine the litigation? Can you imagine the attorneys, just swooping around like vultures going, you got to be kidding. They got that on video and didn't redact any of it. This is payday. There's a payday someday and it's coming.
A culture and an environment that made it possible for that to happen.
I fully support these charges.
Look at this.
The police chief at Loveland,
Watch this sucker lie, man. Listen to him.
Colorado, Robert Tyser, says he didn't see the videos until this April, 10 months after Karen was arrested.
Questions related to why and how long it took for that notification to occur will no doubt occur through the criminal investigation.
I feel like
I bet you anything, just like we saw in that one case with the police chief. What was it in Arizona? I bet you anything that in a couple months you're going to have a bunch of underlings from this police chief right here going, no. I got a video recording showing you that this thing happened 2 months later. I think there was another police chief, and that police chief resigned and went somewhere else. I know that's what happened to Sergeant Metzler. Sergeant Metzler was actually, let's see, Loveland police sergeant involved in forceful arrest of 73-year-old woman with dementia resigns. Yeah, Metzler resigned. And there was a police chief before this guy, I think. But don't tell me that this guy didn't know about this high-profile case where you know they were getting hundreds, if not thousands of calls, not just from people in America who were infuriated about what happened to Karen Garner, but people all over the world. And he's saying he didn't hear about it until April, 10 months after this event happened? I don't believe it. I don't buy that at all. Anybody in the room buy this? Put a 2 in the room if you don't buy it. I don't buy it. I'll put a 2. Here, let me put a 2. 2. I don't buy it. I don't believe this guy. These guys are trained to lie.
Will no doubt occur through the criminal investigation.
I feel like they're still letting everybody down.
Karen's daughter, Elisa,
Dang
believes
right there.
both Tyser and other supervisors need to be fired, too.
My mom would be ashamed because she looks up to a policeman in uniform. They're there to protect you, not to harm you.
That's not what the Supreme Court says, guys. The Supreme Court says law enforcement are under no obligation to protect you. What is that? Gonzalez versus Castle Rock. Mrs. Gonzalez wanted a restraining order to go against Mr. Gonzalez. And even in the context of a restraining order on you, Gonzalez versus Castle Rock made it very clear that the police are under no obligation to protect you, even in the situation of a restraining order. How much less are they, in their minds, obligated to protect you if there's no restraining order? What is the other one? DeShaney versus Winnebago County? So you got DeShaney versus Winnebago County and Gonzalez versus Castle Rock that shows conclusively from the Supreme Court level, the black robe tyrants of the Supreme Court say that the law enforcement class is under no obligation to protect you. And this lady is under a false delusion that they're here to protect you. They're not. They're not here to serve and protect. As we say time and time again, and it bears repeating every video, they're here to harass and collect. Let's listen to that again.
You have to wonder.
Still letting everybody down.
Karen's daughter, Elisa, believes both Tyser and other supervisors need to be fired, too.
My mom would be ashamed because she looks up to a policeman in uniform. They're there to protect you, not to harm you.
You have to wonder, how did the police chief not know about what happened? He claims he didn't know
Exactly.
until a year after.
Exactly. How does the police chief not know that this happened right under his nose? Even if he's an interim or a new police chief, wouldn't you think that a high-profile case like that would have at least once crossed his desk? That he would have picked it up and go, I mean, would that not be on your radar like a beacon? It's like, it's not going to be like a fishing vessel. It's going to cross your screen like a nuclear sub or an aircraft carrier. It's going to be like, whoa, you did what to a 73-year-old? Bring these 2 people into my office right now. We're going public with this. No, not going to happen. He's just going to sit there and lie about it and go, I didn't even know about it until 10 months later. I turned on the TV and there it was. Who was the politician that said, I didn't know about it until it came on TV? Who was it? I can't remember. Was it the president of the United States that said, oh, I didn't know about it until I turned on the TV? Was it Obama? Didn't know about what was going on with Benghazi until I turned on the TV.
By the way, the department has undergone Alzheimer's awareness training. They underwent that immediately after the video came to light, after it was released.
Alzheimer's awareness training, it's like they have to have a kindergarten class on how to be human. Okay, you have to share your crayons. Now, Johnny, I know you got the badge on, but don't steal Susie's crayons, okay? I know that... Johnny, come on. You can argue all day about civil asset forfeiture. You cannot enact civil asset forfeiture on Susie thinking that those are your crayons so that you can split 80-20 with the federal government. Come on, Johnny. It's like you got to bring it down to humanity 101 for the cops. It's like, first of all, you don't have a higher claim over the life and property than others, Frankie. You just don't. And next, okay. Go ahead, Daria. Daria's in the back of the class making trouble again, pulling people's hair, putting gum in their ears. Go ahead, Daria Jalali. What do you got to say? Oh, you do have a higher claim over the life and property. What do you mean if you saw somebody do something wrong, you wouldn't blow the whistle? Daria, you're expelled. These people are so far gone. Let's go to Sergeant Metzler because he's not here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to continue on with this because even the teleprompter reading corporate idiots behind the news desk at CBS that's continually broadcasting Shiite, that's what CBS stands for. Listen to what they say.
By the family attorney.
They know.
And the department also plans to enhance its de-escalation training techniques in the coming weeks and months. Guys, back to you.
Well, it didn't help that lady, but hopefully it'll help somebody else. Thank you, David. We were all asking the same question, David, at the table. How could the police chief not know?
Not have seen this video for so long.
Exactly.
Why would you watch a woman in pain and say, I love it?
Yeah, I don't understand that. And I also don't understand. I mean, if you saw that woman by the side of the road and the blank look on her face, you could tell something was off. I mean, the need to arrest her still mystifies me.
She's 73 years old and weighed 80 pounds.
Yeah.
You have two grown people. We're taking her down.
The psychopaths of fake stream media actually show more heart than the badge tyrants of the Loveland Police Department. Let that sink in. The teleprompter reading corporate shills and idiots behind a desk at a corporate news station actually are showing more humanity. Maybe it's feigned. I don't know. But they're showing more humanity than the Loveland Police Department. More humanity than the police chief. You know it's a bad day when a corporate idiot is more righteous than you are. The third officer involved in the forceful arrest of an elderly northern Colorado woman last year has resigned. So he's like, man, I better get out of here. My job's on the chopping block anyway. Maybe if I resign right now, I'll get that dream job in that next city over. Sergeant Philip Metzler resigned after an independent investigation of the arrest of 73-year-old Karen Garner was conducted for the department. Metzler was at the time following the arrest of was at the scene following the arrest of Karen Garner. The findings of the independent investigation conducted by this consulting firm have not yet been released to the public. This is back in September. A lot of things have developed since then, but I just wanted to highlight this because Sergeant Philip Metzler has not been named in this lawsuit, and he's not found anywhere in the text of the articles or in the treatment on the televised broadcast. He reviewed the officer's use of force along with other higher-ups in the department in the weeks following the arrest. So this internal so-called blue team report looked at the body camera footage of the incident and determined that the officer's use of force followed the department's policy. This internal so-called blue team report, look at this, looked at the body camera footage of the incident, the same footage we just saw, and determined the officer's use of force followed department's policy. So the torturous treatment, if what they're saying is true, the torturous treatment of 73-year-old, 80-pound soaking wet Karen Garner, who was abused by these two tyrant law enforcers. The tyrant law enforcers were acting in accordance, according to this report, with departmental policy. It's about time, said Metzler. This lady said to Metzler's resignation. She represented Garner in a civil rights case against the department. Yeah, it was $3 million. That was settled earlier this month for $3 million. He should have been fired, not given the opportunity to resign. This law office representative has called for Metzler to be fired since before Garner's settlement. She and Garner's family also want Loveland's Police Department Chief Robert Ticer to be fired. She pledged a $50,000 donation to a dementia charity. Yeah, you remember this? Of Ticer's choosing if he resigns or is fired within 30 days of the settlement. There are more than 14 days until her deadline is up. Well, obviously he didn't retire, or he didn't resign. This resignation closes one more chapter of an incident that has tarnished the hard work of the men and women. The hard work of what? Come on. Roadside piracy and abuse and civil asset forfeiture and slapping on the torture cuffs and throwing innocent people in the rape cage are going on, not just in the Loveland Police Department, not just by former Officer Hop and former Officer Jalali and Sergeant Phil Metzler. It's happening all over the country in different departments by a whole lot of officers. And the reason we know that there are no good cops is because we'd see whistleblowers popping up all over the place. Some are popping up, but they don't remain cops for very long. The only good cop is the one who awakens as a cop, didn't really want the ring of power in the first place, thought he was signing on to the department to make his community a better place, found out that he actually got involved in the mafia, and now he's going to start, banging heads and taking names, but he's not going to be an officer for very long because he's going to be A, caught in friendly fire, B, asked to resign, or just be completely fired from the department because they can't tolerate a whistleblower within their midst. And if you're a good cop, that's going to be a 24-hour day, 7-day-a-week job. And you better make sure your family's in a safe place because the thin blue line does not appreciate whistleblowers. Just like the U.S. government does not appreciate whistleblowers. That's why Julian Assange is getting the short end of a dirty stick. And that's why you see all these people like Trevor Noah getting up there going, oh, you press that are covering the Ukrainian made-for-TV conflict. He didn't say the made-for-TV part, by the way. You guys, we owe you a great debt of gratitude because we wouldn't even know what was going on in Ukraine if it wasn't for the mainstream media journalistic psychopaths. The whole time they're turning away from the fact that Julian Assange spilled more beans, never got a story wrong. Upon investigation after investigation, everything that was released by WikiLeaks was spot on and absolutely right. But somehow he's a danger to national security and we got to lock that guy up for the rest of his life. He's endangering Americans by telling people the truth. Oh my God. Then you got Bradley Manning, who's now Chelsea Manning, doing the same thing, getting the short end of the stick, ends up going to jail. You want to see or Edward Snowden, you want to see heroes? The heroes are the ones actually out there exposing the garbage that portrays itself as tulips. See, that's what politicians do. They pretend to care about something other than power and profit, specifically to gain more of each. It's their pretense. In their pretense, they want power and profit, but when they're standing at the lectern, not the podium is the thing you stand on, the lectern is the thing you stand behind. I was corrected about that 2 days ago. Thank you. I really do appreciate that kind of correction. But they stand behind the lectern and try to convince you that they are the Lord and Savior and you need to bow down to them. And if you bow down to Team Red this year, we'll relieve you of some of your taxes. Sure, we're going to put some of those taxes toward the military-industrial complex and beefing them up so we can start bankers' wars. We're not going to tell you that. And the Democrats are going, hey, give us more money, vote for Team Blue, and we're going to make sure that the welfare state is really ramped up so you guys can have free health care. Guys, the last health care that you would want is government-funded health care. When the government starts getting involved in health, it automatically becomes not health. When the government says they're here to champion the cause of your freedom, you can expect shackles and slavery. That's just how it works. That's what government is. That's who government agents are. And those are the dastardly deeds they do to the rest of us so they can be rewarded by the banking corporate, monolithic oligarchical class and step on the rest of us. And that's what you're seeing here with the Loveland Police Department. This is only part of this story, guys. The Loveland Police Department is only a piece of the puzzle. You put that, and I'm talking about a very small piece of the puzzle, this very small piece of a dark, ominous, tyrannical puzzle. Because when you back off on it, you zoom out and you see the big picture right there, it gets uglier and uglier and the roots get deeper and deeper and the darkness gets more and more profound. So that's what's going on. So for now, Austin Hop is in jail. Daria Jalali maybe soon to follow. Hopefully, if there's enough outcry, we can get Philip Metzler behind jail so that they can experience all the rewards of a rape cage. And Anarcharica's here, Supplanter's here, Donald Delete Laws is here, D. Furky. Who else is here? Gray Dude's here, Thor Power, Wolverine. What's up, Wolverine Transparency? Healthcare is the sixth branch of the government. I totally believe that. Man, we're gonna be going places. We're gonna be doing things. Mama's gonna get better because government's involved in healthcare. You want clean air? You want to stop climate change? The only people who can do it is your Lord and Saviors, the politicians. Yeah, go to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Nazi Pelosi, little Chucky Schumer. Who's that other guy? Who's the guy who talks like this and looks like a turtle? Who's that? Yeah. I'm here to tell you that, that corruption ain't going to fly with me. Mitch McConnell, that's who it is. Mitch McConnell says, I'm a baby puffalump. Yeah. Child predators, I think they all are. I think they're all child predators. In my opinion, of course. It's just my opinion. What do I know? Guys, thanks for supporting this channel. 745 people in here, 516 likes. Maybe we can get up to 16 likes before the end of it. People were asking me, hey, man, why don't you go on Young Ripa's channel? I tried to get in touch with him. He's a big channel. I appear to have a big channel. It's not my High Impact Flicks channel. Says I got 500,000 subscribers or whatever. Guys, it's not a big channel. I'm barely a pebble making. It's like taking a bottle cap and throwing it into Niagara Falls 10 feet away. It just disappears into the mist. That's how big my channel is. So I try to get a hold of Young Ripa. He seems like he's got a level head on his shoulders. I would like to talk to him. It'd be interesting. A lot of people have suggested that, email, private message. I never heard about Young Ripa until, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago or something like that. But I've watched a couple of his things and I tend to agree with his mindset. Love you back there, Delete Laws. I appreciate you, man. Delete Laws is doing some heavy duty lifting over there on his channel. And I'm not just talking about physically lifting, but he's actually involved. He's taken the plunge into the cesspool of tyranny, and he's emerging on the banks with the necks of tyrants in his hand. And I appreciate that. Hey, Delete Laws, did you get involved in CH and Ty Audit's lawsuit that I'm sure that they have pending against Daniel Moulter, Judge Daniel Moulter from Indiana? Mitch McConnell. Mr. says Mitch McConnell is a slow-moving target. Put a 1 in the room if you'd like to just have maybe a live stream. Holy cow. Steve just dropped a $10. Guys, thanks for the super chats. I appreciate that, Steve. That's super humbling, man. You guys, I don't know. Things are so expensive these days. Save your money, spend it on yourself, spend it on your family, buy rice beans, get dry goods, make sure you got flashlights, flints, stuff that's going to light a fire in the rain. But I appreciate it, Steve. Thanks. He says, love your work. Lizzie is still in our daily prayers. Thank you very much. She actually she went to, they went to the hospital today, had a multi-hour consultation with the doctor. It seems like the prognosis is a little bit better. ANCAP Gamer. Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about that. Hold on a second. Let me mod you there. Yeah, get a hold of Young Ripa. He seems like a good guy, man. He seems like a good guy. I'd like to talk to Young Ripa about Officer Brandon Soften Him Up Tatum. Hope she's doing well, says Steve. Send her our love, much love, and aloha, brother. Guys, I can't even tell you how much I appreciate the love and support and the letters and the donations that you sent our way toward Lizzie. It was very sad being up in California for a month and a half because we saw how these pharmaceutical drugs were changing her. She literally, because they were giving her steroids to combat the the inflammation. She was really, she had ravenous hunger. It's like she was constantly eating. We watched her gain 20 pounds in like a week. It was crazy water weight, and she was feeling so bad. And then she would try to like color with her crayons, and then you could tell just a wave of paint came over her, and it's just, it's just disturbing. But thank you guys. I appreciate it. So, what I was going to ask is, who would be interested in just having a hangout session on a live stream? I tend to shy away from those kind of things because when I render a video, I want it to be something that people can go to for some real quick, vital information that they can apply to their lives. So I kind of shy away from that because I don't want to waste anybody's time. But if you guys want to do a hangout thing, another thing people suggested to me is, hey, if you're going to do a hangout video, do it for just members only. So I may consider that. If you want to become a member of this channel, it's only ever going to be $2.99. I don't have these options of, here's the $20, $50, $100 premium deal. I'm not making any special promises. If you join, though, one promise I will make is I want to put out quality content with the aim of setting brush fires of freedom in the minds of men. None of us is greater than all of us. I don't know everything. Far from it. I learned tons from you guys. That's why one of the reasons I do live streams is because I love listening to what you guys have to say, and I'm constantly gleaning vital information that I didn't know. And in my estimation, it makes me a better person. It makes me more armed, more knowledgeable. And as we all know, knowledge is power. Roe v. Wade was based on lies. It should have been purged on that alone, says People News Today. People News Today dropped a $1.99 super chat and says, we all must stand up to tyranny. Thank you, everyone. If you missed my live stream from last night, it's already rendered. It's up on the channel. Please check that out. That's like one of the most important videos outside of the 9/11 videos that I've done in a long time. One of the most important. Not that all the other ones aren't important. It's just that I hold that kind of on the upper tier because it deals with putting the acts of truth to the root of the corruption that we all have to deal with. And that root is we need to monetarily cut off these psychopaths. If you take away their money, they can't thrive. It's basically the bloodline of the beast. You're actually draining the blood of the beast. Gary Steele dropped a $20 frickin' super chat. That is a lot of money, man. Holy cow. Thank you. By the way, also, thank you for the 624 likes, 698 people in here, 703 people in here. Don't forget to hit the like button. Let's see, 45 minutes. Yeah, we better wrap this up. But ANCAP, that's who I wanted to talk to. ANCAP Gamer. Yeah, no problem, man. Hey, yeah, just if you can get a hold of Young Ripa, if he's interested in doing it, I'd be interested in. I'll appear on anybody's show. I'll appear on The View. If The View called me today, let's put it this way. If little Brian Stelter invited me on reliable sources, you better believe I'm going to be there. You better believe I'm going to be there. And I'll do my best to show up for us. Not for me. It's not because I want exposure. I want everybody to know who I am. I am somebody. No, I'm nobody. I'm nobody. In a sense, I am somebody because I'm one of you, but that's all I am. But yeah, if I would like to talk with Russell Brand. I would like to talk with Tim Pool. I would like to talk with Joe Rogan. You know, all the top people that everybody is talking to, because I want to challenge their thinking, because you have to bring people down into their humanity. Do we all make mistakes on things? Yeah, I made a mistake the other day. I actually put out misinformation the other day, just to let you know, because I got this thing that I didn't fully investigate. It looked like it came from the PFIZER docs, the 80,000 that were released. Turns out it was a study back in 2020 by this British medical journal, which had been revised since then. So I put out misinformation. But guys, when you get it wrong, just put your head on the chopping block of truth. If I'm going to have my head lopped off, I want it to be lopped off by truth, not by deception, lies, and tyranny. None of us is greater than all of us. And we're, somewhere down the line, we're going to get it wrong. Just admit your mistake. Why? Because truth fears no scrutiny. Gary Steele. So Gary Steele, Steve Harloa, thank you for that $10 super chat. People News Today, thanks you for that $1.99. Gary Steele, thanks for the $20. And Christopher Hansen, you've gone on record about these issues for years. I haven't. I've watched, liked, and shared, but we all need to act. What's playbook number one? What is playbook number one? Not sure what playbook number one is. I'd love to see Delete Laws on Rogan. Delete Law says, I'd love to see Here's the Deal on Rogan. There's a lot of you guys I'd like to see on Rogan. There's going to be way better spokesmen than me. I'm just saying, if the opportunity was ever presented to me, I would take it. And I would do my best to try to represent for the rest of us. I'd probably drop the ball. I would want somebody a little bit more well-spoken than myself, though. It's like, hey, Joe, thanks for accepting me, but have you considered chili? Wolverine Transparency. Don't forget to smash that like button, y'all. Wolverine Transparency, thank you, man. And I also appreciate you for your work. I thank you guys for your service. How about that? Thanks, Delete. WCMW, how's it going? Toe Rogan, how do people watch those? I want to be honest with you. I hate when people say that. Let me be frank with you. Trish and I actually enjoy listening to Joe Rogan. I think he has some interesting perspectives. I listen to WEF, World Economic Forum, Russell Brand. And the reason I call him WEF Russell Brand, and I would love to talk to this guy about this thing, is not because he has a 33 on his arm. You know, people do stupid stuff in their past and all that kind of stuff. But this guy is good friends with Yuval Harari. Yuval Harari is the spokesman and basically confidant and advisor to Klaus, Great Reset, Fourth Industrial Revolution, You'll Own Nothing and Be Happy, Marrying Biology and Technology, Schwab. He is the spokesman for Klaus Schwab. Yuval Harari and Russell Brand, by his own admission, is good friends with a WEF spokesperson. That does not spell goodness on the horizon of the airwaves coming out of Russell Brand. So I would like to talk to these people about it. Can you also invite Long Island Audit? Long Island Audit does a good job too. And you know what? Like there's a lot of people that I've seen talking smack about Long Island Audit. How about we all, here's just a suggestion. I'm not telling anybody what to do, but if you have a problem with somebody specifically, go to that person. I know what the issue is, or at least I think I know one of the issues with the Long Island Audit thing, where he apologized for basically exercising a First Amendment constitutional right. Now, if there's something that I don't fully understand on that, inform me. I want to hear about it. But in my opinion, you should not ever apologize for doing something right. If you did something wrong, if you went over the line, then apologize. And I'm not talking about going over the line of breaking the law, because what is the law? The law is the opinions of politicians backed by the threat of force. For the most part, like 95% of the laws are wicked, cruel, and despotic and utterly immoral. Okay. So I'm not talking about that. If you step over the edict or command of a politician, that doesn't make you a bad person. But if you did something bad, own up to it. I don't see walking in a constitutional right, like I observed Long Island Audit do, as something that should be apologized for, because I think it sets a bad precedent. And that police department in New Jersey, New York, or wherever, if I'm not mistaken, actually used that as an opportunity to gloat over the fact that a YouTuber who was actually in the right, in my opinion, as far as I remember it, was apologizing for standing on his rights. I don't see that as a net positive for us. Does that mean I have something against Long Island Audit? No, I think for the most part, he does a fantastic job calling these people out and standing on his rights. But I don't think we should get, Larkin Rose. I've contacted Larkin Rose. Let me finish what I was going to say first about Long Island Audit. I think we all play an integral part, a key function in pushing back and ripping down the curtain of tyranny. I think every one of us, and we all have specialties. There's some people who are constitutional law professors, like law scholars, like Delete Laws. There's some people who know all about the fishing laws, like the armed fishermen. There's some people who, know a bunch about, Los Angeles, California laws, like San Joaquin Valley Transparency. And there are some people who just know a bunch of stuff about the federal code, and they can throw it into the law enforcer's face. That's all key stuff. We're all parts of the same body of freedom, but we all have different functions. We have different talents. We have different mindsets. We have different temperaments. There's some ways that some of these First Amendment auditors handle law enforcement that I don't think would fit with my personality. I can't picture myself going, "Get on down the road, you effing pig, and don't ever come back." I don't think I would be. That's not my personality. Let's put it that way. But I think it's hilarious when somebody else, it fits their personality. Like when Direct D talks to people, I'm like, wow, that guy's, I don't even know how he walks out of the house with balls that big. How does he even find pants to fit him? But, I'm not slamming anybody for doing that kind of thing. It's just that we all have particular, abilities, talents, temperaments. Like Bacchus Mill says, there's no way I could interview people in New York because I would lose my Shiite. I would lose it on these people. I got no tolerance for stupidity, Bacchus Mill says. And it works for him. Because when you see a video by Bacchus Mill, it is freaking hilarious. He's like, "Oh, you fuck you," totally like a New Yorker. "Get out of here with that nonsense." Funny stuff, man. Wolverine Transparency, when he got arrested. Hey, Wolverine Transparency, was that in Was that in Detroit? Was that somewhere in Michigan? Where you and a bunch of other auditors got arrested on camera? Somebody said, yeah, Bay Area Transparency is another one. They just stand their ground. It's good stuff. I'll have to do that later, Beck Shamil. People News Today dropped a $4.99 super chat. Guys, thank you. I appreciate it. If you want to sidestep the 30% usury tax, if you want to do the Cash App thing, I think it's free, or it's only like 1 or 2% or whatever. You can sidestep all that stuff. And I truly appreciate the support, guys. Please keep your money. Buy rice, buy beans, buy canned goods, buy dried products. You're going to need them. Prices are going to go up. I look at buying food right now as an absolute investment. Yeah, we might be high prices right now, but think about it. I'm just going to take peanut butter. I know I always talk about peanut butter. I don't have a fixation on peanut butter, although I like it. But natural peanut butter, a jar of a 28-ounce jar of natural peanut butter is $5.49 right now. It used to be $4.95. It's $5.34. It's $5.34 in my local store. If you buy it today for $5.34 and 6 months from now it's $6.34, you just invested your money, and now you got peanut butter that costs $1 more now. And you may not need it now. You may need it in 2 or 3 years, but when you need it, you'll have it. That peanut butter will stay good. It'll stay good for a long time. Don't sell yourself. Don't be buying $7.50 cups of Starbucks heart attack in a cup. Don't stop going out to eat. Take all the money you would have gone out to eat or spend at Starbucks and buy dry, storable food. And you don't have to get it from me. Get it from your local grocery store. Rice will keep forever. Somebody said sprouting is the best. Yeah, exactly, Nelson. Buy ammo. Personal protection devices. And it's all not in this order. Some kind of water filtration thing. Maybe if you can manufacture air, that would be first on the order of business. But we can't manufacture air. So maybe get something to filter your air. Definitely get water filtration where you can get one of those straw things and go to a mud puddle and have perfectly drinkable, potable water. So you got air filtration, if that was something, water filtration, dry storable food, personal protection device, ammo, a good lock on your door. Guys, desperate times are coming. Don't kid yourself. Don't be an ostrich sticking your head in the sand. Desperate times are coming, and desperate people are on their way. And those desperate times and desperate people will do desperate things. And that includes if they find out you have that dry storable food, make sure nobody knows about it unless you absolutely trust them. Loose lips sink ships. You may have to defend your stash because hungry people do some crazy stuff. Oh, they can't get food from the store and they find out you got it. You better believe they're gonna come to you. And that door ain't going to stand up. They gave him 5 years for the $3 million that took their Christmas bonus. It says Redneck News. Thanks for being a member, Redneck News. I guess if you show up in green and you got the High Impact Flicks thing right next to you, you're a member. So thank you, everybody who's a member. I appreciate it. All right. I'm flapping my gums, man. People News Today says, I'm just giving you my debt notes. Thanks. There is perceived value. We are in a musical chairs carousel. And if you do have FRNs, Federal Reserve notes, they are worth something today because people believe they are. But one day soon, people will know they're not worth anything. And they'll be doing everything they can to offload them. And when the market gets flooded with them, you know what's going to happen to the value of each of them. Yeah, we all think differently about stuff. David Ike's scammy hand says, if you're still eating animals, you got some work to do on yourself. One day you'll realize. Hey, thanks, Delete Loss. Pissed off handicap guy says freeze dryer. Ainer says, mate, can you invite Good Citizen News? He was struggling today with 4 cops. Can I invite Good Citizen News? Did he put up a video? Ainer Aslov? Aslanov. Government will be desperate. Delete Law says, call me. I'm not making any promises. No promises, but yeah, I would like to contact you. Delete Laws. Realize says, hey, Gammy Hand, why don't you become a breatharian? Don't eat. To each his own, man. I'm a meat eater. I eat chicken. I don't eat pork. I'll eat bacon, because who doesn't like bacon? But I don't know. I'm just to each his own. Yeah, what's his channel? I'm trying to find out what that channel is. Who said it? Who said it? That's Dakota drinking in the background right there. Can you invite Good Citizen News? Let's see if we can get Good Citizen News here. What do you mean invite him? Okay, so I don't think I've ever seen Good Citizen News. If I have, I've forgotten. So I'm going to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon. What video are we looking at? Deputy attacks journalist. I'll take a look at this. If it looks compelling, it's something we need to cover, I'll definitely do that. Yeah, I love meat. God, there's nothing beats the smell and taste of a good steak or a good piece of chicken breast. I'm definitely a carnivore, and I've seen the arguments. Don't get me wrong. You look into those animals' eyes and they're getting abused, even if they're not. A life expired so that you could eat that meat. I understand. I get it. And I understand why people can get emotional on that kind of stuff. And let's see. Dark winter. The truth will stand the light of day. Okay, so I didn't even look at the. Are you guys interested in just kind of like a chatty members only thing? If you are, put a 1 in the room. I don't want to assume that people want to do that, because I always assume, man, people don't want to listen to me. I'm just going to get in there as fast as I can and get out. I don't want to bore anybody. I don't want to take up their time. Time is valuable, guys. You don't know how much it means to me that you're going to spend time with me on my channel here. Meat is my main dish, says Delete Laws. God bless vegans. We live in a wacky world. Ainer says, thank you, sir. You are a very simple and polite guy. God bless you. Ainer Aslanov, I don't want to mispronounce your name. Is this the video right here? Deputy attacks journalist. Is that the one you want me to look at, or is there another one here? CH and Thai audits and News Now Ninja. Stay tuned. I like News Now Ninja too. News Now Ninja just got a super hyper viral from 3 or 4 weeks ago. Oh, thank you, Michelle. Thank you. I appreciate it. Do you know why police get to beat you and treat you like slaves? Because you are all in adhesion contract with the U.S. corporation, and as such, being a legal fiction, they own you. Yeah, A Lively's report. Did you see the video that we did last night on the live stream? Okay, guys. I don't see many. Oh, there's a couple ones. Maybe 10 ones. Okay, cool. I'm not a member to anyone, says Gray Dude. By the way, when I say followers on Twitter, it's like I don't view people as following me. I view us all as fellow sojourners, putting in little slivers of knowledge into the pool of knowledge so that we can all benefit. When I say followers, I'm just saying it because that's what it is. But I don't view any of you guys as following me at all. How pompous would I be going, oh yeah, I have a bunch of followers. I don't want to be your leader. I'm not your leader. I would be a piss poor leader. I'm not leading anybody. I can barely lead myself. Richard Singer, love Mark Passio. As a matter of fact, I've been in touch with Mark Passio's people, not Mark personally, but yeah, they would be They're interested in a live stream as well. The thing I was going to say about Larkin Rose is I've tried to get a hold of him. I've gotten a hold of him. He says he's busy, but then like 2 weeks later, I see that he's doing a live stream with somebody who's got 200 subscribers, but he won't do it. I'm here to promote his book. He's got a great book called the Most Dangerous Superstition. Good book. If you haven't read it, it's a very good book. Real easy to read. All right, guys. Hey, I'm out of here. That's an hour and 3 minutes. Thanks for being here. If you haven't done so already, hit the like button before you leave. Please share this video with everybody you know. It's good news that this cop got jail time, but it makes me wonder how long he's going to stay in jail, just like Amber Geiger's about to get out for killing Botham John. But please share this video. If you haven't done so already, subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon. If you want to become a member and you want to join in the members-only chats, I'll have probably 2 or 3 of those a month starting in June maybe. But if you want to become a member and support the channel or whatever, I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.